Okay, hey guys, Lizzie here. I'm filming a Hunger Games book review. I have two of the books in the Hunger Games series, but I read all of them. And I recently read, are you ready for this? Sunrise on the Reaping, which is the new Hunger Games book that came out this year, like in March. And the new Hunger Games movie is coming out next year. But, and this video is not sponsored by anything, but there's this one app that I want to recommend to everyone. And it works mostly like whether you have a library card or not, it's the Libby app. So, like, whatever library you go to in whatever city or state, people live in, like, whatever library you, like, have a library card with, and whoever watches this, whatever city or state you live in, this works at all libraries. So you can easily, like, download the Libby app on the Google Play Store or the App Store for, like, if you have an Apple phone. They have that too, so. But with the Libby app, like, you can sign into the Libby app with your existing library card, or you can request a library card on the Libby app if you don't already have a library card. And this works at any library in, like, certain library systems. Like, I think the Prince William County Library System, that's where I usually check out my books when I go to the library, because I go to two libraries. I go to the Bull Run Regional Library sometimes, but most recently I've been going to the Manassas City Library, which actually is about 5 minutes away from my house, so it's just easier to go to that one. It's a smaller library, but I don't really go to the Bull Run Regional Library so much anymore. I only went to that library when I was in therapy. But I promise, like, I may be going off on a tangent, but I promise I have a point to this. But it's like, with the Libby app, you can actually check out books. Like, it's not actual physical copies of books, it's ebooks, audiobooks, stuff like that. So I recently, on the Libby app, listened to the audiobooks for The Hunger Games and The Hunger Games Catching Fire. And, you ready for this? I also listened to the audiobook for Mockingjay. And this is actually my physical copy of Mockingjay. And yes, I already read it, because I'm doing the 2025 reading challenge on Goodreads this year. And I read a total of about 6 or 7 books this year. My goal is to try to read 25 books by the end of the year. And when you do the reading challenge on Goodreads, it's not just physical books or ebooks, it's audiobooks you can listen to, and you can change, like, it from page number to percentage if you're listening to an audiobook for the Goodreads 2025 reading challenge, but you can actually listen to audiobooks for that. Yeah. And audiobooks are actually, I would highly recommend audiobooks because they're the best ones to listen to, especially if you have a short attention span. And no, I'm not actually making fun of people with short attention spans. I have a short attention span, but, like, I'm actually making a point where it's like, because, like, with me, if I read a physical copy of a book that I have, that doesn't always keep my attention. So this is my advice to people who do have short attention spans or are just too busy, like with work or anything, busy with anything. It's like, if you don't have time to read, listening to an audiobook is actually the better option, because then you don't have to worry about forgetting what page you left off on, putting a bookmark. But on the Libby app, if you're, like, reading a ebook, you could bookmark it. You can bookmark the page without having to have the physical copy of the book, without having to look for a bookmark, because, I mean, a lot of people, like, when they have bookmarks, they forget where they put them. I forget where I put my bookmarks, but I keep a set of bookmarks right here. I keep a set of bookmarks on my nightstand. So I actually keep a set of bookmarks on my nightstand, and that one bookmark that I have that says read, that's one of the bookmarks I usually use. But I have other bookmarks that I haven't really used yet. But yeah, I keep a set of bookmarks on my nightstand because it's actually easier for me to do that. But anyone who, like, if, like, you're reading a physical book and it doesn't keep your attention, audiobooks are keeping people's attention a lot faster, a lot better, and it's more fun to listen to an audiobook because you can pause it and you can start the next, like, chapter, next section. But this is a book review, and I already showed you that book, but I have this one too, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. And I did recently finish Sunrise on the Reaping, and I just returned it yesterday. But that book, it was good, just depressing. But okay, I'm gonna give my thoughts and opinions on the Hunger Games books, the original trilogy, Ballad of Songbirds, and then Sunrise on the Reaping, and then my predictions for what's going to happen in the Sunrise on the Reaping movie that's coming out next year in 2026, basically. But, I mean, I'm obsessed with the Hunger Games series. Okay, so I have a few series on my list that I love that are my favorite series. Like, the first series would have to be Harry Potter. And I have 4 Harry Potter books. The Mortal Instruments. I have 3 books in the Mortal Instruments series. The Infernal Devices. I have 2 of them in that series. Chain of Gold series. I have all 3, the whole trilogy in the Chain of Gold series. Twilight, I have 2 Twilight books. But this book reviews on the Hunger Games. I only have 2 of the Hunger Games books. Eventually I will buy Catching Fire and the original Hunger Games book and Sunrise on the Reaping. Now, funny story, I had a copy of Catching Fire. But before I knew that Suzanne Collins was writing a book called Sunrise on the Reaping, here's what I did with that book that I had on the copy of Catching Fire that I had. I got rid of it. I didn't throw it away. I actually traded it in at the used bookstore, McKay Used Books, because I'm gonna get real here for a second with that. But it's like, the reason I did that because I wasn't sure I was actually going to read Sunrise on the Reaping if Suzanne Collins had decided to write, a second prequel book for the Hunger Games. I wasn't sure if I was going to read that. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to keep the Catching Fire book because I'm trying to sort through my books. I'm trying to get rid of books I don't want. So I wasn't going to keep it. I don't regret getting rid of it because I traded it in for a little bit of money and stuff, but I don't regret that. But I just thought someone else could use it. I thought someone else could read that book. Because I wasn't sure if I was going to read that book again or read the new one that Suzanne Collins was writing, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to read the Hunger Games books again, even though they're one of my favorite series. But I'm actually glad I gave that book away so that someone else can have that book. That way maybe they can, if anyone else likes the Hunger Games series, like I like it, they can actually read that and have fun reading something that I loved. So that's why I get rid of it, just because it wasn't like just to get rid of it. It was so that someone else could read it. Why not? It's like, because there are a lot of people that love the Hunger Games series, and I just figured someone else that loves that series could read that book. Why not? And I believe, like, when you're reading books, like, it's important to sort through certain books, like, that you, like, even if you've read them and you love them, sometimes, like, people, get tired of certain books. And I actually got tired of certain books. Like, I read the book A Heart So Fierce and Broken this year for the reading challenge. And my honest opinion, I didn't like that book. Like, I didn't like that book. So I boxed it up. I'm getting rid of it. I'm going to either take it to the library or the used bookstore, obviously. Because why not? It's like, I didn't like that book. Even though it was the exclusive Barnes & Noble edition, I still didn't like it. So, yeah. But my thoughts on The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, Lucy Gray, and I actually listened to the song Lucy Gray on Spotify. And I read the poem Lucy Gray. I read it on Google, that's a good poem, by the way. But yeah, what I thought about The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, I thought it was actually really good. And I thought the character of Snow was developed really well. And Lucy Gray, I thought her character was developed really well. And Tigress from Mockingjay, her character was off the chain. Her character was awesome. But like Lucy Gray, I think like her talent for singing, the covey and stuff was really, really cool. Really inspiring. And then here's my thoughts on Sunrise on the Reaping. I gotta warn you, a little disclaimer warning about this. Sunrise on the Reaping is a good book, but it's depressing. That's my little disclaimer warning. It's like, the book is depressing as all get up, but it's a good book. It's really well written. The plot is really diverse. The plot is really good. The characters are diverse. And I love the character of Haymitch and Lenore Dove. Because again, the covey is still very much alive in Sunrise on the Reaping. But by the time you read the original trilogy of Hunger Games, there's only one member of the covey besides Katniss. Although Katniss is actually distantly related to the covey. She's not directly related. Her father was distantly related to the covey. But there's one person alive from the original trilogy of the Hunger Games from the covey. And he's actually in Mockingjay. He's the fiddler in Mockingjay. So, like, the covey doesn't really sing songs in public anymore in the original Hunger Games trilogy. But I highly recommend everyone reading the Hunger Games books. And anyone who watches this video, I hope you get some really good information from, like, as far as my thoughts go, because they're my opinions. They're not fact, but they're my opinions. But like Sunrise on the Reaping it was a good book. The fact that Snow, how he turned evil at the end of The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, that was interesting. Interesting character development. And the fact that he actually has this plan for the character Haymitch and Luella. And anyone who's read the book would know. what I'm talking about with the whole Luella situation in Sunrise on the Reaping, where it's like she's a body double, but she's like a robot body double. So anyone who's read that book or listened to the audiobook, because I actually listened to that audiobook too, would know that like she actually dies very early in the book. That character dies very early in Sunrise on the Reaping. And then when Haymitch like presents her to Snow as his rebellion, or micro rebellion, I'm gonna say micro rebellion, Snow actually makes like a body double of the character Luella, who, and listen closely when I say this nickname, Lulu, because the body double of Luella is actually called Lulu. So anyone who recognizes that name from Sunrise on the Reaping, if you've read it, you'll understand. And if you haven't read it, hopefully I didn't spoil too much, because I didn't say this was a no spoilers, but this has micro spoilers, but not too many spoilers in this video, because I don't want to spoil the book for too many people. I'm just saying a little bit about the book and what I think about it. But the character of Lulu in the book, I think that character was well written. I think so, because that girl was actually taken from District 11. I know I have, like, this is meant as 11, obviously, I don't know, but it's like, but that character I thought was pretty cool, and the Nordove, but there's like, anyone who hasn't read that book, I'm not gonna spoil her fate in the book, but I'll give you a hint. Let's just say it's gumdrops, but I'm not gonna say anything else about her fate in that book. That's why I say that book was depressing. That was my little disclaimer on, disclaimer warning on the book, because it is depressing. Because there's a lot of people that get killed in Sunrise on the Reaping. And again, I'm not going to spoil the fate of Haymitch's family in Sunrise on the Reaping. But, again, like, he did this rebellious thing in, like, the arena. And that's all the hints you're getting for Sunrise on the Reaping. But, like, overall, as far as, like, my favorite Hunger Games book, and it was a toss-up. It was a toss-up, because it wasn't the original trilogy for Hunger Games. Those 3 books are not my favorite. I love them. They were not my favorite. But it's a toss-up, and no, I don't have that library book. I returned it yesterday, obviously, because I had to. It was due back tomorrow, so I returned it yesterday. But there are two of my favorite books in the Hunger Games series. The prequels are actually my favorite. Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and Sunrise on the Reaping. So, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, that's my first favorite, because it's a prequel to the trilogy. And Sunrise on the Reaping, that's my second favorite, because it's the second prequel of the second prequel before the trilogy. And I'm going to put this all out there to the universe. I'm hoping Susan Collins, after next year, when Sunrise on the Reaping comes in theaters, I'm hoping she writes another, like, 2 or 3 or maybe 4 prequels, because I want to see a prequel, and these are predictions. I want to see a prequel of Phoenix Games, Beatty's Games, Wirus's Games, and Mags's Games. I'm putting that out to the universe, y'all. And yes, I said y'all, because that's a southern term, and because Virginia is actually a southern state. Y'all. But yeah, I'm putting that out there to the universe, so hopefully she's got about 3 or 4 more. I'm gonna say 4 more prequels. But I think like seeing Annie's games would be fun, and Joanna Mason's games would be fun to see, because maybe Suzanne Collins has 6 more books that she wants to write, 6 more prequels that she wants to write of the Hunger Games series, for the Hunger Games, the prequels before the Hunger Games trilogy, because she already wrote the trilogy first and she did the prequels, but maybe she wants to write 6 more prequels. I mean, that'd be fun to see, right? Like, I would love to see Phoenix games for sure. Joanna's games would be awesome to see, but I definitely want to see Beatty's games, Wyrus's games, Mags's games. Annie's games would be a close 5th, but that would be awesome to see Annie's and Phoenix games. And Joanna's games would be awesome. But it's like, I would love to see that. Because if she does create more prequels, I just think that'd be awesome. So Susan Collins, you have to write a few more prequels. I mean, a lot of people that did reviews on the Hunger Games books, even on Sunrise on the Reaping and Battle of the Sombers and Snakes, a lot of people have said they want Susan Collins to write more prequel books, for Phoenix games, because that would be awesome. And Annie's games where the arena flooded, oh, that would be awesome. And Beatty's games where he electrified a lot of the tributes in one, that would be awesome. And Wyrus's games where she figured out the loophole with the mirror, that would be fun. But it's I would love to see that. Even Mags's games, because Mags was actually Haymitch's mentor. Well, no, Phoenix mentor and Haymitch's mentor. And Wyrus was also Haymitch's mentor in Sunrise on the Reaping. And I'm not gonna, I will give a hint about Wyrus's and Mags's fate. I'm not gonna spoil it, but because of what Haymitch did in the arena in Sunrise on the Reaping, they got tortured. But Wyrus and Mags were actually still alive in Sunrise on the Reaping. They only got tortured. So their fate, if anyone has actually read the original trilogy of the Hunger Games, if anyone has read Catching Fire, you'll find out their fate in that book for Wyrus and Mags. But other than that, that's my opinions. That's my book review and my opinions on the Hunger Games trilogy, plus the 2 prequels that are my favorites. And don't judge me for the original trilogy not being my favorite. The original trilogy, I liked the original trilogy. I really did. But I liked the prequels a lot better. And I gotta show this. Yeah, that's the journal. For Battle of Songbirds and Snakes. And then this. Hunger Games journal. Katniss and Peeta. My favorite couple in the Hunger Games trilogy. But yeah. It's just a journal with the Mockingjay symbol. And I actually have the box set. I have 2 box sets of the Hunger Games movies, the original trilogy. So I have two box sets of that, and the second box set actually has a gold Mockingjay pin. It's like a collector's set, but that's in my lounge room, and I'm not going to get that now. But yeah. So this has been my video on my opinions about the Hunger Games trilogy, the 2 prequels, the movies, which I didn't really give an opinion about the movies, but I obviously love those movies because they were my favorites for the trilogy, for the original trilogy. The movies were actually my favorites. But bye. Stay tuned for the next video, which might be in 2 weeks. But I won't be filming any videos on Wednesday of next week because I'm actually going to a dentist appointment to get all the dental work done. And the reason why I won't be filming a video that day, I'm going to be heavily drugged due to sedation for the dental stuff. So I'm not going to film a video, while I'm all loopy from the dental sedation, because that's not that. No, I mean, it might be funny for some people. I actually thought about filming a video for that. Filming a video while I'm all loopy from the dental sedation drugs. But then I actually had second thoughts about that last night, and I'm like, okay, no, I'm not gonna film while I'm loopy, while my face will probably be swollen. I'm not doing that. Because I think I know what people will say in the comments, and no. Nope. Nope. And I was gonna play Fortnite after I, get the dental work done. And I'm like, no. I'm not doing that either. So, no. Like, I thought it would be funny, and some of my friends that I play Fortnite with thought it would be funny. And then I'm like, okay, no. I don't think I'll be able to get into my lounge room after I get my teeth fixed. After the sedation. I don't think I'll be able to do that. Because I have to go down 2 steps. Well, 1 step really, but I don't think I'll be able to do that because I will be really loopy after that dental sedation. So I'm like, that's a no-go. So, yeah, that's not gonna happen. But stay tuned for the next video, which won't be next week, but it might be in 2 weeks. So, bye. Peace out. Yeah. Peace out.